the reason that they didn't, because we didn't have collect enough good data. Our computer systems were slow and we were not good in collecting the data. So that didn't work very well. Then it was industrial robotics. So you can automate, like you look at the car factory or Tesla factory right now, or BMW factory, there are a few people on the floor. Chinese have lights out. Basically, the millions of things are produced, thousands of acres of manufacturing space, and 3 guys are running it.
Wow.
That's because they are just troubleshooting it. They are not even running it.
Wow.
Okay. And then it was a machine vision. So like think about face recognition. You can detect the movement. You can see if something is broken, ruptured. So if you have manufacturing and see that the part is broken or not complete, you can compare it to how it's like in injection molding, for example. This is how it should look, but it's not completed. Yes. So you can reject that part and kick it out immediately. And GPSs, satellites. Then the IoT is a fancy term for Internet of Things. Basically, it means that we can put a lot of very inexpensive sensors that communicate through Wi-Fi or through satellites, and we can collect that data and get the good visibility. Perfect example for this is actually GPS, because you have a sensor, satellite sensor in your car. Yes, it knows where you're going. In manufacturing, it is used, you put the vibration sensors, temperature sensors, energy consumption sensors on the machines. So you will know, like in the cars, we have sensors for this infamous light on your dashboard, check engine. It's nothing else than IoT. Yes. Actually, we all know now that a lot of our cars, we're getting the report on our cars from our dealers. The same John Deere is doing. John Deere will have, every tractor has unbelievable number of sensors, and when you buy it also service of them knowing when this may fail. So that's where this is all. It's also RFID chips. There's a company here in town that sources the fish from China. You can put the RFID chip, or you can put the temperature sensing chip and program it so if the temperature goes below a certain level or above certain level, so fish will rot, it sends the signal. So those are types of situations that. And then this was the digital twins, meaning that you can develop products without testing them, without having physical objects. So they started to manufacturing planes that you will test everything on the computers before you build even first prototype. That's a digital twin. So you can test it. Tremendous cut down on the testing code, testing and designing. And then in 23, and please know that all of this previous ones required a lot of data collection from all over the place, from our environment, and then we had to put it in the computer and do something with it. Another example is fraud detection. With Visa. If I'm in Jacksonville and I charge $5 today, and 2 hours later somebody charged $2,000 in Tokyo, it doesn't take a genius to know that something is funny. I cannot be in both places at the same time.
Right.
So this is all dependent on collection of a lot of data from the environment and doing something with it. The new one is that and this old, not the old, the previous one, when you're dealing with a lot of data, I call it machine learning. You may find a lot of different definitions. Part of the challenge in this business is that all the Silicon Valley guys have unbelievable, unlimited marketing budgets, and they create buzzwords to differentiate themselves, but they're talking about the same things. So it's very hard to know, through the marketing noise, it's hard to get through. So machine learning is something that only very large entities can do. Large hospitals, John Deere's, Google's. Very unlikely that small business will ever do machine learning, because you need to have a lot of operational data, you have to have a data scientist, and you have to have lot of clean data. Part of the reason that previous AI waves didn't deliver because companies don't have a clean data in one place. I've never seen a company that has a clean data. It's a different level of cleanliness, but everybody has something missing or something goofy in the data. So the generative AI is you can pick up that skill. You don't need to have technical skills. All you have to do is to know how to type and how to speak. Right now you can do it through speaking. Mm-hmm. And then the one thing it's different is that you have to have a critical thinking. You have to know what questions to ask. When I teach in person with students, the best way for me to learn how smart they are is how they ask me a question. Asking good questions shows a lot of critical thinking and intelligence. Mm-hmm. So we're now shifting from just creating mechanics of analyzing to what do we do with the level of analysis. Right now we spend enormous amount of energy analyzing data, and we are doing very little taking action on it. And that's shifting because the analyzing can be done automatically. So, Rick, I remember from your business, you had a lot of Excel spreadsheets. Right now, you can just upload them and say, tell me something, show me red flags. And it'll tell you, oh, this store is compared to other, it will do automatically. It's just amazing. So I remember you had a lady that was consolidating all of it, you know. This is a perfect example, this type of a job. Data consolidation, that's a different story because she was also consolidating. But the analysis, you could just ask, you know, on driving to work, you know, what's going on in the store 11, yes? Right. Or is the store going on? And it will tell you in plain English without having to talk about it. And she may not notice certain trends, you know, or you may not notice in the Excel certain trends yourself, even if you're experienced with it, especially if you have a lot of data. So what happens, the new one is that now we can, with text, we can create text, means write me an email, write me a blog, write me a social media post. I can create image, I can create video, I can create audio, I can create computer code. This is where the big impact. And they had their interview with CEO of the Salesforce and CEO of Microsoft. They claim they already have 35% of their code AI written. So Microsoft code base is already 35% AI. So this will impact junior programmers, no question about it. Another thing that I want to tell you that artificial intelligence requires tremendous mathematical skills. It used to be not to use it, but to create those models. And that's where the shift is going. Not the computer scientists, yes, still the chips have to be good. So on the hardware side, yes, we have NVIDIA, and those chips have to be very, very fast, like for games. But on the software side, it's not the software, it's a mathematics. So what happens is that all of those scientists that are working with OpenAI or Google or Zuckerberg, they're all top mathematicians, more than computer scientists. Because this is algorithmics, this is pure math. So right now they're scouting around the world and sucking out the top mathematics graduates from around the world. There's even Polish, you know that I'm from Poland, so there's a Polish connection of OpenAI. Two key guys are Polish, and they're certified in mid-30s. They're graduates of PhD programs in mathematics from Poland. They just grab them here, you know. And there are a lot of Chinese, because Chinese pump mathematics in their kids since before they are born even, so calculating already. So this is what's shifting. And Zuckerberg just hired away to top scientists from OpenAI. The pay package 100 million. Not in cash, but in some of it in cash, some of it in stock. So this is like a football player transfer.
Yeah.
And indeed, it's a very good analogy. There are probably very few people who are worth 100 million, just like very few people who are worth 100 million playing football. Yeah? Similar thing. So the people at the top will be very rich, and the rest of us may have different challenge. Different challenge. So I use the example from manufacturing because in that audience I don't know what businesses you're in, but we all can relate a little bit to manufacturing. So machine learning would be predictive maintenance. I have 1,000 machines, which one is about to fail? If I have a bunch of those sensors, I can predict what will fail when. That's also used on F-35 jets. They have a lot of sensors on the wings, and when they land, all those sensor data is getting downloaded to the hard drive, and they start analyzing it. Visual inspections, we talked about it, including face recognition. I don't know how many we are authenticating with face right now. If you try, how many of you came to traveled outside the United States and come back recently? It was all face recognition, passport and face recognition. Meant forecasting and optimizing process. But on the generative side, documentation, exactly what you mentioned. Reviewing documents, writing documents, making them, translating them. That's perfect job for translations. So you have a multilingual clientele, perfect translations. I tested it on Polish. Polish is harder than Chinese and translates very well. And Spanish I could not test. I asked a couple of my Spanish friends, they say it's flawless. So that has also implications if you're doing business international or you need to support certain things in languages. Imagine Toyota rolling out new Camry and they have to support 128 languages around the world. All the manuals have to be, all the call center people have to be trained, yes, in multiple languages. Imagine that. All bye-bye. All about to be automated. I'm not saying that Toyota implemented this, but everybody's working on it. Because it takes time to a little bit. Then we have a situation, compliance. If you go to OSHA in construction or in manufacturing, OSHA regulations. You go to any website that has the regulations, 50 pages of completely. You cannot read this. It's impossible to read it. It's in English, but even lawyer wouldn't know what to do with it because those are processes that are imposed on us by those agencies. So all you have to do is to point to the website with the OSHA regulations or anything that will tell you what to do. And actually, I will show you the example of it. There is managing suppliers, triaging warranty claims. So this is what I mean by this call centers. You have a lot of calls coming for warranty. How do you know which one? Oh, this guy is this is $5 fixed, this is $50 fixed. How do you allocate resources? How many you have? All of this automated. Public-facing bots, meaning that everything you need to know about. I have a hard time as a UNF employee to find out about my 401k. I don't even know where to go. That website is completely unpenetrable, and most cities are unpenetrable. We did the thing for the city of St. Augustine, and the mayor told us, help us because I'm getting calls from my friends that the trash was not removed, because they cannot find on the city of St. Augustine where to find a complaint about it, because the website is so many services. Cities are in so many businesses, from first responder to entertainment to tourism. Those websites are extremely hard to manage. So you have a bot and say, what do you want? I want to complain about the trash, and it should be taken care of you without trying to find it through multiple menus. Public-facing, internal bots, so supporting. Still, if you haven't replaced all the people, and they will never be replaced, probably 80% will be replaced. Those 20% left of call center people need support on this Toyota. So I'm supporting Toyota. Now I have to learn all this about Toyota. Yeah? So I will have a bot. I will ask it when I have a customer on the phone rather than exposing them to it. Then perfect for PR, communication, I will show. And digital marketing. Tremendous impact because you can write your own blogs, you can do your own keyword searches, you can do your SEO, you can do your social media posting, all of it. lot of this can be automated, including the generation of images and videos. So that's where we are right now. Employee onboarding. If you've ever been part of onboarding in a large company, good luck. I mean, that's like a nightmare. They don't know where to go, what to do. It's a wasted time. Then we have an employee continuing in general education, ongoing education. Tremendous potential. Just, we can create content. The role of a teacher is going to change. We're going to have, teachers are not going to create content anymore. They will be coaches and mentors, not teachers. Computer code we talked about, and last but not least, this is where very little is talked about it, but this is where I see biggest bang for the buck, especially for larger companies, is analysis of your performance. If you have a retail store, you have a point of sale system, if you have anything that's, you have a lot of moving parts and daily changes in the transactions, now you can analyze it daily by just asking the simple question, tell me red flags, and I will show you how this works. So I see tremendous potential in analytics. This is what I spent most of my life for, because I still help companies with analytics. And the moment I noticed that this can be automated, that also impacts how we teach our students and even impacts my consulting practice. So what's the lowest hanging fruit? By the way, this image is generated with OpenAI. Took me about 3 attempts to get it right, but I wanted to see the orchard in the back and the digital apple,
So that's not really your hand then?
But what we can do with this today, you can upload this to video generation package, and it will take it and tell it, pick up, rip this apple from the
grab
branch,
the blue apple,
grab it and take it away. So that's all doable today. It will do it in one prompt, just like this. Just upload this and say, make that hand, I don't know what the term in English, rip it off of the branch. That's probably not the best. If rip it, it will be more cool versus gently harvest this. It will even know that.
Do you need specific AIs to be able to do that kind of a?
Yes, all in prompting. It's all in prompting. Only how exactly rip it very quickly, or harvest it very slowly, pick it up very slowly, do a branch cave in versus not. You can describe all of it.
But do I need to choose between ChatGPT, Copilot,
Yes.
do some of those do some of these better that you can help us with?
Actually, Chinese are the best right now in the video production.
Which ones?
Chinese packages are, and they're coming up every day. Is the new one. They have a lot of. They're Chinese AI companies that in the videos they're ahead of us. So, and some of them are free. This is. If you go and we can talk about it. I can help you with some of the selections, but I will be gone in a week, and so what I tell people,
check it out again in 2 weeks, right?
Go to Perplexity and say, what are the best video generating packages, AI packages, and I will tell you, because 6 months from now will be different. Okay, and a lot of them have allow you play with it. They will let you do like a 30 seconds, so you can test it and before you pay. And even if you pay for it, the costs are nothing compared to digital marketing production.
So if I'm going to ask that question, do I go to an AI to ask the question? Is Google obsolete for asking questions like that?
These questions, yes. Google is obsolete for these types of questions.
Uh-huh.
You need to go to actual OpenAI. You can ask AI about what are the best packages.
Yeah.
And my recommendation today, that we may change,
Right.
is Perplexity is the best for that. Perplexity.
Perplexity for video?
No, for search, general search about AI.
Gotcha. And instead of ChatGPT or what?
Instead of chat. What I recommend people do is to do it in 2 or 3 packages. If something is very important, and you don't find what you want to do, you can go to Grok, which is X, Twitter, and then you can go to Gemini from. You can have basically 4 tabs, 5 tabs open in your browser. One is OpenAI, this one is Claude, this one is Gemini, Grok, and what's the last?
What is your, how do you spell
I
that?
will have it all here, so
Oh,
I
perfect,
will send it to you.
Sorry, I don't mean to get ahead of you.
Because they are competing and there are new players. The Google was dormant for last 2 years, and last month they just caught up, and now they have a better tools than OpenAI has.
Really?
In some parts, not
Right.
in every part.
Right.
This is like with cars, not car is perfect. This one has a better air conditioning, this one has a better acceleration, this one has a better suspension, and this is also analogy. Like we have sports cars and we have trucks, we will also have different AIs for different tasks. That's the actual trend. But it will be by subject matter, so it will be AI for medicine, AI for entertainment, AI for tire stores, AI for just BMW service, Mercedes service, because you get specialized, So what we're basically saying, educate yourself. So go and educate yourself on generative AI any way you can, and educate your employees, especially those who have line of responsibility, because if you don't, they will be the ones that will find the good use cases.
Do you consult through the Small Business Center at UNF?
Yeah.
So if a business owner came into you, would they have to pay for that, or could they talk to you?
No,
through-
they have to register with SBDC, but they have limited number of monies there. So they are distributing this. I'm not in charge of it. So they basically tell me go and talk to that.
Talk to them
that
to see if
person.
you can get,
But
they get to you.
I will refer people to SBDC to register, and then they pay me, but it's free to the small business. Because the fees are unbelievable right now. The fees are $800 an hour right now in consulting and AI. I'm talking not for small business. I'm talking for the Fortune 1000 companies. So there's no way small business can afford $800, or even $300
Right.
per hour. So we do it. This was the right decision. In this case, the government did the right thing. They allocated money to SBDC for small business to be trained by somebody that they couldn't afford otherwise. And it's perfect for us. I'm also getting a lot of, and we as an educator, I also have beautiful content, beautiful things to teach. So everybody's happy, including myself. It's a great way to do private public partnership, and because you can save so much money. A lot of businesses are going out of business because they have the poor owner has to do 10,000 things by himself or herself. They cannot afford help. Now I say, no, you can do it. Now it's the time to start business. So train yourself, train things, and then train people. And what's also very interesting, you can do it for free, because you can give your employees free OpenAI account if you have Microsoft 365, that's a Copilot. So you may already have some of those tools. And if you want more, OpenAI is about $20 per person per month. And if you really want more, you can have unlimited usage for $200 per month.
But Copilot with 365 is free, huh?
If you have a 365
Subscription.
Yeah. So that will lead to a lot of use cases that you can come up with, and then that could be the basis for what to automate. What will be the example of automation? I'm thinking about, Dick, about your business. So this analytics runs, and it says, this store is, can I hypothesize?
Yeah, absolutely.
This store is behind the schedule, the way it's going, and then it will automatically send the email to that manager, and automatically set up a one-on-one with Dick, And after we agreed to what was going to be done, it will log it in by listening to the conversation, just like with the permission, just like Sean was talking about doctors. And you have everything you talked about it, everything what you agreed on, and you actually the software will suggest certain solutions. So you even have a very good agenda to talk with that manager, and it will do politically correct without, all legal in the sense, no language, no nothing, no tension, because it will even suggest how to talk to the underperforming manager. Suggest, not tell you. That's a very important distinction, that this treat all of it as a suggestion or as advice. Don't treat it as an ultimate verdict. Yes, you have to apply judgment at the end. And I worked with my client was the construction company, and the owner didn't know the use cases. I had to go to the weeds with the ladies that were running the show, doing work orders, doing all the safety inspections, checking in and out tools. The owner didn't, actually the owner probably knew, but didn't have time to do it. And this owner was smart, he pays them very well. They are part of, they remember our conversation about being owners of the, co-owners of the business.
Right.
So she has this structured like this, so her employees at the bottom of the, not barrel, but at the bottom of the process, at the detailed process, they're incentivized to make it better because they will make money if they save themselves time, because they can serve more customers without having to hire another person. So there are incentives too. So this is also very important. People are not going to do it. They're not going to help the owner if they think that you're trying to replace them with this. But if you tell them, hey, if you cut $100,000, here's $10,000 for you, just as an example, yes, they will be doing it. It's all humans. So now this is a very important slide. What we have here is that
Greg, are we gonna get a copy of this? And
yes, I will send you.
Okay, thank you.
John, you just have to send me the email list, or I send this to you and you distribute it, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
This instruction summarizes documents. So I have the uploaded document, or I cut and paste it, or copy and paste it into a chat in OpenAI. And so I summarize this document. And from the computer perspective, next question is, where do I go to find this document? Yes? It could be PDF, could be Word, could be Excel, could be Google Doc, could be API, could be any of those models. So let's say, again, I will use Dick's business because I know roughly what you were doing. Let's say you had the HR procedures in PDFs. You're not going to go to OpenAI to ask about how your procedures that they're on your own. So this will say, summarize this document, then you go to your hard drive, or if you have a SharePoint in Microsoft, just point to the document, bam, that's all you have to do. You don't have to even download this to things. OpenAI just introduced native connection to Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Workspace. What's the importance of it? A lot of business owners have this as environment, so now all the output and input, you can analyze your large Excel sheets in Google Drive, or they can be converted to the sheets, Google Sheets. It doesn't really matter. My point is that you can leverage Google Workspace functionalities. So if somebody has it, it's all integrated with OpenAI. And then you can point it to many different models. OpenAI, Gemini, DeepSeek, Grok, Claude. DeepSeek is this Chinese one, and this is President Trump was inaugurated on January 20 or 21st. And on the 2 days later, a bunch of guys from Silicon Valley came in and from Japan and say, we want to invest $500,000 500 million in AI on the national level. And you say, I also ask you, why? Why would you know? It's not the government will give them 500, but why is it Trump there? You know? And the issue is that all of those AI requires tons of energy, electricity, and we don't have it in the United States. So what happens is we have rolling blackouts in California. This is how we got ourselves in trouble. I'm an American citizen, I love this country, but last 40 years I see like this. We're going this direction, not this direction, you know, especially compared to Chinese. So what happened is and so 2 days later Chinese say, oh, we have and at that time OpenAI was $20 per person for basic model, and for more fancy things $200 per hour. And completely locked in, you cannot do anything more. Chinese say, oh, it's open, by the way, it's open source, so it's free. And I tested, and it's doing exactly what OpenAI is doing.
Wow.
And I can cut it off from the Chinese servers, and I can put it, I need about $9,000 machine, and I can run it locally. Yes,
But you
yes,
need the
yes.
power to be able to.
Nobody, it will cost me about $200 in electricity per month, because it eats the $9,000 Mac will run it.
Wow.
DeepSeek. It's all yours.
Enclosed.
Nobody knows about it.
Wow.
So that also impacts control over government, impacts censorship.
Yeah.
Now, I left Poland among communists, among others, there's freedom of speech. I don't want somebody tell me what I can say.
Greg, so what you're telling me is that it's Chinese owned, this service that they provide for us, but it doesn't necessarily get back to the Chinese, because I guess they could go to our system that's free and.
Yes, if you use it as of right now, you log in and use it, yes, it will go to Chinese.
Yeah.
But you can, on Amazon, you can rent the server that is cut off already from it. And you can also put it on your computer, but you have to know what you're doing.
Okay.
About $9,000 Mac will run it. Think about what it means.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to have a DeepSeek, because Chinese have already about 8 different models. They have a lot of competition inside. This is how Chinese play the game. They rip us off, but internally they're competing among each other. So the best wins. It's not like we have one company that bribes half of the Congress and they have a new monopoly, like Google. No, that's not how it works over there. And this is why Google is already behind with search, because they don't have to do it. They have 98% of the market. So would you do it? Come on.
Yeah.
It should be chopped. This is the antitrust laws are not enforced, so we have new monopolies basically. Okay. Now that's never supposed to be like this. You know, we broken down Standard Oil. We broken down AT&T. Microsoft was very close. They got to a senator that helped them, you know. But it should never be like this. But so I see this a big picture. It will also help us to be less censored and also have our own models. You know, down the road you can dump. You're a perfect example. You have unbelievable. How many years you were in business? 20, over 20? How many years you were in business?
40.
So imagine that you may not have records from 40 years ago, but dump all of this, everything data to it,
Yeah.
and then train that model on everything that you were doing. You know, this is what doctors do. This is what large hospitals are doing. You know, so or it will be even cardiology department of the large hospital, not even the large hospital, because I'm a cardiologist. That's very different from dermatologist. Yes, so I have different models for different diseases even. This is where it's going. So it's OpenAI, those large models will diminish in percentage of usage, because we will be using more specialized models depending on what we want to do. Okay? Just like today we're going to different websites, yes? We're not going to one website, we're going to many different websites. So from that perspective. So this is what it does, and then the terminology for OpenAI is GPT, for Microsoft is Copilot, and for for the Google is Gem, from Gemini. confuses everybody. That's exactly the same, works exactly the same, confuses the living lives of everybody. Because they won't explain that this is the same because they compete.
Right.
Gem and Gemini are the same thing?
No, the Gem is an agent written in Gemini. And GPT is an agent written in OpenAI, and Copilot agent is agent written in Copilot. I know it's confusing, but those are just marketing terms. This is nothing more than collection. Your prompt is actually stored here. Your secret sauce on how this is going to address that, summarizing that document. That logic is here in the middle. And so today it's identical from almost all vendors because the ChatGPT, Copilot is a ChatGPT because Microsoft uses OpenAI to make it even more complex. So the same technology is called different things by different vendors. So this is why I will be employed for the rest of my life if they continue like this. Sean said.
So I've used ChatGPT to do a document, and then sometimes I'll put the same thing in Claude to compare the two. Right? Claude seems to be more, I'll get more detail
Yes.
in Claude with the same prompts, which is very interesting.
Yes.
But your thoughts about why Claude seems to have more girth to its response?
This is why Zuckerberg hired those 6 mathematicians from OpenAI, gave them $100 million, because it's exactly what's happening now. They're competing on exactly that. Claude is better also in creative writing and in coding too. So if you want to do heavy coding, don't do it with OpenAI, go to Claude.
Yeah, so
Claude, how do you
But this-
spell it?
Claude, it's up there, see, down at the bottom, it's just Claude.
Oh, I see, okay.
Just another, this is like cars, you have Chevy and Tahoe and Suburban, yes? So Chevy is OpenAI and those are different models.
The other thing I've done, so when I think about you with the development, so I wrote a proposal for a school, for a program. And at the end, I liked it, and I said, well, make it more compelling,
Yes.
right? And then I said, make it, put in 10 years of research around the efficacy of these programs. Right, and it just kept, you go down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
real easy,
Yes.
because it's so easy to use.
Yeah.
You have to decide, this is good enough, but it's like improve it.
This is, you're working with Claude,
I
or
did-
whichever one.
Yeah, while we were sitting here, I just did an invoice.
Sean, what you're describing is exactly what we teach. If you have a high impact document or high impact project, run it in 3 or 4 of them. Some of them are free, compare. Another thing is that I find out that's a secret that I will share with you is to do reiterations. So let's say you do a business plan, even with AI, go and put it into a different AI and say critique it. Just say critique this document. And you'll be surprised what you will see. It will still make it better, or it will still suggest make better. So I sometimes go 3 iterations with AI, and then I do a style. Now this is for high school kids because I also teach homeschoolers. So what happens? This is I'm talking to 8th grader. It has to be in that language, not in the PhD level. Yeah? Tremendous impact on education. Just tremendous. You're dealing with youth, yes, from the tough neighborhoods you mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, this is an elementary school.
That's another tremendous opportunity for mental health support, for getting them motivated, keeping with the program, getting those who are self-motivated. I wrote the program that you have a situation, you come in and say, what do you want to learn? Chemistry, what level you're at? 8th grade. So it automatically gives you 10 questions. You pass 7 of them, say thank you, congratulations, here is the content for 3.
Wow.
You answer 3 correctly, you get next. You can loop probably in If somebody is motivated, they can learn a chemistry probably, if they do nothing but that themselves, probably in 6 months to the PhD level. All self-perpetuating, self-checking, self-pacing. So they can do it, they can go play the game, they can play a video game, they can play soccer, then come back to it. It doesn't mean that you have to do it all in one sitting. It's amazing what it can do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
I just have a question. So back in the day, I used to be involved with the team that created movies. And we worked with two really big companies, Walmart and Procter & Gamble. And every time we would create a script, it would go in front of a bunch of people, and there would always be new ideas. And what we learned very quickly was new ideas were not necessarily better, they were just different. So in that process that you just described, do you find that if I take something and I do it in Copilot and then I take it to 3 different others to critique it, do you regularly find that it gets better or that it gets different?
It gets better to a certain point. After a certain iteration, you diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns.
And then you have to, in your creative writing, you have to step in. So sometimes I will have different ideas from 3 different iterations, and then I put them together as a human at the end, you know. So it's perfect for creating educational content, perfect for creating books. I used to pay $1,500 per book when I wrote 12. So it tells you how much money it was. It's not a lot, but still per book for doing copy editing. Bye-bye, no more. Last 3 books I wrote, and I put it through the AI to check language, especially. I'm not a native English speaker, so I constantly miss "the" and "at." That concept, even I've been here for so many years, I still don't get it. So we'll clean the language, clean the grammar. I said, don't write it for me.
Right.
Actually, what I find out the best is to write like you would write. Don't pay attention, just think about concepts you want to do. And then say, improve it. Don't say, hey, write me a curriculum for chemistry for 8th grade. Yes, you can do it. Actually, in science, it's easier because we've been teaching chemistry the same way last 2,000 years. No, not chemistry, but mathematics, physics, but in software disciplines, and you can also force the style. So I uploaded all my books and say, use this style. I have a style, not academic. I just write very short books, which this is why my colleagues don't like me at the UNF, just to the point. So I uploaded this and I told ChatGPT just use this style, so I get the output, very short sentences. This is how I write. Shorter the better. The minimum number of words per concept. If you go to academia, it's other way around, 50,000 words per concept, and the students are confused, everybody's confused. So, because they are scientists, they're supposed to talk theory, but in business school we better teach them both. And if I'm going to err on the side of practice, I will err on the side of practice rather than academia, yes? Because we need to get them ready for real life.
It's good.
Not for academic. If they want to do a PhD in business, that's a different story, but that's only 1% of students.
Right.
So this is very important. What this basically means, that if you're a large company that has you're a Microsoft shop, and you have a SharePoint, meaning that software that allows you to manage all the files around the world. If you're Toyota, you have 140 countries, they're all over the place. Basically, any of those files that is defined in your network is a game. So imagine, or combinations. So you may go through all the files of all the complaints Toyota had about certain model and use it for improvements. What work with the warranty type of analysis. It's just amazing what you can do with all of it. And this is very important because what this means that in your business, if you have Office 365 Enterprise version, you already have it. You already have it, and people don't know it that they have it. And they already can use it. So then this will be a video for, we're going to the use cases. And I have them recorded here because I'm never sure about the quality of the internet connection. So this is, I am a construction business, I am a manufacturing business, and the manufacturing especially has unbelievable, and there's a new OSHA requirement. And they published this on the website, and I got the email from my OSHA consultant. The consultant is the new thing. So all I have to do is to go here. This is a screen capture from the real. So the speed is the same as would be natural. So what I'm doing is summarize, and I point to that OSHA compliance website. Okay, this is what I did. I don't even download it, because it will go and read it. And it tells me, appendix to OSHA standards, that's the purpose of it. If you went to that website, you wouldn't even be able to recognize that this is what it is. Annual service certification, validation, integrated system approach. So now I say, okay, so now I know what to do. What do I do about it? What do I need to do? Because it's just the first question, you know, what do I need to do? So it's telling you, this is a compliance list. This is what you have to do to meet that standard of OSHA, and they have millions of them. And each one has a different checklist. Let me know if you want to help third-party validator or template. So I said, before I hire somebody, let me see the template, yes? And I've been misspelled it doesn't matter. So here's my template so now I know if I'm going to hire somebody, can I do it myself or do I need to hire somebody, yes? Is it complex or it's not complex? If it's a couple of checkboxes, I will do it myself. If it's some tests, soil tests, you know, vibration tests, whatever, I may not be able to do it myself, yes? Let me know if you want it's an Excel, PDF, whatever you want to do. You will even do a fillable format, means we'll give you PDF that will accept input, you know, so you don't have to type it, fill it by hand. So that's one use case. So think about it. This could be for all regulations. This could be for I'm an employee. I want to know all the processes for onboarding. And so you can imagine this is any extremely complex. This could be a upload lawsuit, upload lease, complex commercial lease. I recommend that all of you now, any document that you send out or receive, put it in, including your health records from your health providers. If you have a portal, it has a PDF download, just dump it to it, and it will tell you that either you have 5 years to live or 50. Right? So I'm exaggerating to make a point, but it will actually, it's better than diagnosing complex medical cases than doctors are right now.
So, had a chance, Baron Donald, the guy that's running for governor, he one of his, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a platform, but he said he intends to do it if he's elected. Bring AI into education. And the way he said it just sounded too vast, but he called the AI a coach. And he said he wanted every kid to have a coach, because AI can customize itself based on where the child is. And then as the child goes on, it will, it's iterative. Yes. It will continue to improve as that child improves. And the cost to do that. And it was an interesting conversation because it changes. I think one of the issues is the way teachers are taught to teach is the absolute opposite. Right?
Exactly.
So that's one point. The other one, you know Carlton Robinson down in the chamber? So he's a good friend, and one of the things that he's downloaded all of his years of business experience into his model. And he's not deployed it because of the staff that it would eliminate. So if I went in for counsel, like the SBDC at UNF, right? I would have to see you a month to do a business plan. But we could sit together for an hour with the right prompts, and I could walk out with that business plan, right? So, yeah, it's just very interesting kind of dilemma, if you will, right?
Yes, and we're in the middle of it because we sold the program for, how to find a job to a non-profit. And they had coaches, and we were getting a pushback from coaches. Not from veterans, but from coaches. They don't want us around. I won't tell you who it is to protect the innocent, but it's exactly that. The coach doesn't, because right now coach is important. The veteran comes in and do a job, prepare, a resume, match the military background to this, to that. It's going to be done like this by a veteran themselves. So do you think that coaches like us?
And what kind of coaches are we talking about here?
There are coaches that helping the veterans to find jobs.
Gotcha.
So we automated that process, and we're saying roll it out to the veterans, and they said not so fast, and they are stalling this.
Well, the teachers' unions would hate
The
this
same with all
idea.
teachers.
Teachers' union would
Especially-
absolutely despise what
Oh,
you're
yes.
talking about, Sean.
Yes, this is, I'm in the middle of it at UNF. They just don't like it, They sometimes forbid kids to use it. And I said, other way around, teach them how to use
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a, what do you call it? It's a disruption, I mean,
Oh, it is.
massive disruption.
It's a massive disruption.
But the outcomes, I mean,
But it makes these people much more productive who are using those tools. Remember, it's not the AI will replace
Right,
you, but
right.
if you don't learn,
Right.
you will be out. And right now, there's no excuse because in the past, in order to learn, how to code in Python, you have to have certain. Not everybody can do it.
That's how my
But
son
this,
learned
everybody
in
can do
Python,
it.
right.
But we need to teach critical thinking. We need to start teaching what questions to ask and how to ask them. This is what we have to start teaching. And do you think, I ask my students in the class, I have 50, how many of you had the critical thinking class in high school? One shows up. They don't know what questions to even ask. So, okay, so that was this one. The next one would be public relation assistant. Everybody has a public relation problem, so smaller or bigger. This could be also, think about it as I am a manufacturer, so I have this type of problems. I have to communicate on manual, crisis, on pollution, and say, what do you want to write? Press release, letter to media, letter to customer, frequent asked question, blog, social media post, create a presentation. This could be also like this for your social media posting for your digital marketing. So it will keep asking questions. What are the issues you need to talk about? What did you do already? So this is dynamic. I didn't write it. I prompted, so it will write. So it writes the next question follow up to something that they already responded rather than can't. Can you imagine that? So I'm answering one, emission reduction, whatever it is doing, but it says, what tone do you want? Take a look at it right now. 4, are you apologizing? Are you proactive? Or are you celebrating? Yes? Are we bragging about something? Or are we getting into defense? Yes? So you answer all of this, and who are you talking to? General public, regulators, investors? Are you going to Tallahassee, or are you going to the board meeting, in high school, yes, or in the public school? So you basically say it, and then here it goes. You have everything you need. And then if you have your profile filled out, all of those things will be also done for you. You don't have to retype your name. But let's wait for a second. And then I want to say, generate posts for X, Instagram, because I already did the press release. Say I'm trying to find some bad situation. I want to put it all over the place that I'm doing something, point to that press release, yes? So this is what it will do. It will do Instagram, and it will do emojis and hashtags, anything you can think of. So think about how, so one of our customers using it, they're managing the public relations for a very large public company. I cannot tell you who it is. They're exactly using this. Because I also help very large companies, not just small businesses. The issues are identical. The scale is bigger. Real-time analytics. This is where I see this is a game changer, completely game changer. What I'm going to do here is I'm downloading the data from manufacturing system that I have every machine in it. I have vibrations, I have temperature on this machine, I have output from that machine, I know who runs this machine. I mean, that file knows it. Not that I know, that file knows it. So it uploaded that file. If you had a SharePoint connectivity with Copilot, you'll only point to that file. You don't have to download it here, right? So it's analyzing this data. All I said, show trends and any concerns. All this is all I did, please note. I didn't touch Excel. I didn't have to pull out the Tableau or Power BI tools, or any analytical tools. Well, this is all I did. And it's thinking a little bit. It actually generates the code behind. We can turn it off. I'm just trying to show you how this actually writes Python code on the fly to answer that question. Imagine that you have all your things are in the Google Drive in the sheets other than in Excel, or they could be in Excel, doesn't really matter. Because you had 11 stores, yes?
Yeah.
I remember. So now the data is transacting every day. The more transactions, the better, yes? Point of sale system, did you have a lot of inventory? You had to have inventory.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. All of it for inventory analysis, for high margin, low sales, I mean, all of this. But let's go back to the manufacturing.
Time to start a new Sun Tire day.
You still have to
How old am I gonna live again?
120.
upload your
how
data to the.
different business would
Oh,
be
yes.
if you just started with this.
So take a look at this. This is doing charts,
Yeah.
and it's telling me it's summarizing that I had a bad day in May 11, I had a bad day in 10, my quality, May 10 really caused a lot of problems, but this is not, the next thing is coming up. What do I do with this? I will stop it, because this is amazing. This is from one prompt. I want you to understand what this is doing. It basically tells me inspect cooling and lubrication on machines logging 80%, but load this. It actually tells me what to do with each machine. Now the next automation is automatically text goes to the technician, yes,
Yeah.
or to the manager, or you worked on that tire, it blew up, deal with it, yeah, and copy to the boss, depending on severity to the next boss, or whatever this is, all rule based.
So who has the authority to do the prompts that would like make everything go? Like you delegate it to one person, like
No.
the plant manager?
Yes, to a certain extent, that the person that writes this prompt will be probably a few people in the company doing that. Sure. But they will work with the managers to make sure that they reflect. And also the interfaces, when you do real interface, you give the, just like OpenAI is doing thumbs up, thumbs down, in the real application you allow users to tell you whether they don't like output. Something
I
doesn't
see.
make sense.
Yeah, right.
And then it goes to and they will review it, because those sort of things are not perfect. They're probably 95% good, but sometimes they are goofy. So you have to be able to, in order to get the adoption going and trust, you have to give the people opportunity to feedback that this is goofy, yes? But in 5% of cases it's not. Today it was 99%. Okay. So you have a situation that, and I did it only for one. Please know, this is extremely important. I did all I asked and said, show me the trends and any concerns. This is all I asked. how long?
Sorry.
Oh, the food is.
The food is ready. Can I put here?
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
As long as you don't put on my laptop, I'm fine. So the importance of this is tremendous. Think about hospital having senior living, athletes, any group of people that are your responsibility. You can segment them and take different actions, just like we segmented it here. And so go to M1 machine, change filter, cool it down, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now we'll be competing with food, so that will be fun. But this one actually is almost as good as food as far as intellectual input. Here is the real life medicine. I took my shirt off when swimming jumped in the pool, and my wife said, "You have something on your back." And this is what I got on my back. And she said, "What is it?" Outside in Florida, who knows? So she took the picture, I uploaded this to ChatGPT, and say, "Thanks for sharing the photo. I'm not a doctor, boo boo. This could be insect inflammation, boil, Frankel, I've never heard of that, and early skin infection. Sign you should see the doctor. If it's swelling, if it's warm, if it's fever, if it smells, and if it doesn't improve a couple of days. In the meantime, do this. And would you say it's itchy, painful, or tender to the touch?" So I respond, tender to the touch, not spreading, staining my shirt. So it's the most infected is an infecting simple cyst or boil or spider or insect. But I had that's how nature plays the games. I had the teenage pimple on my back when I'm in the 60s. So this is what it was. That was it.
That was it.
No infection, nobody bit me. But it saved me a trip to the doctor. My wife didn't think that I have beginning of a cancer on my back, hunchback or whatever it is. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it was very interesting. I'd never seen it. When I take a shower, I don't have mirrors to see my back in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? I think very few people do. And it's just exactly at the point I couldn't see it, I couldn't touch it, I couldn't feel it. Perfectly done. Okay, then next what we're going to do is to, what I see as a trend. A lot of vendors are already embedding AI in their products. Microsoft with Copilot. Google Gmail already has you click and it helps you to write an email if you have a workspace from Google.
Even like on LinkedIn, you can like now.
On LinkedIn, yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
use it too.
They're embedding the Canva for image generation. A lot of vendors are, and this will happen also with the health, with wellness types of applications. They will be embedding this in the products. They're already doing. Another thing is that all of those fancy name for it is language models, but they're just databases with a lot of facts, a lot of text. They come up with those fancy names for marketing purposes. This is just database full of text. It's gigantic and it's very well indexed, but it is. And they ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, DeepSeek, Perplexity, they're getting commoditized, meaning that the difference between them is like between Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. All good cars do the good job. It's a preference. They differ a little bit. They start specializing. This is how they start competing. So Claude is going after more creative writing and codes, and OpenAI is going to the genetic research. But how many of us do genetic research? Yes. So they will be, or how many of us are doing coding? So there will be a lot of other players, and the trend is that there will be a lot of different models. There could be a model we were discussing yesterday. It could be a Christian model. Upload the Bible and give it to homeschoolers. Yes, and that's and for this, all you have to do is to upload PDF of the Bible. You don't have to do anything else.
So when you go into, let's use ChatGPT as an example, do you recommend that when you go in there, that you use just general ChatGPT or actually ask it what, so let's say I wanna look at, a spot on my back. So do I go to a doctor ChatGPT?
That's a very good question. Right now, the ChatGPT is general because they dumped all the medical books in it. Right? So, but this was easy one. So this. But if I were to have an open heart surgery and some complications, then ChatGPT is not the one.
So I've created, gosh, all kinds of different ones. One for fundraising, one for grant writing, and tried to go in and get experts. Am I helping myself, or should I just be?
Are you saying different models?
Different models within ChatGPT. So it's ChatGPT.
This is what
grant-
you're asking. No, you will be okay with 4.0. These other ones are very. I would more rather do an output of whatever you did and put it in the other one, into Gemini or Grok or DeepSeek, and compare it that way.
Okay, instead of trying to specialize it within ChatGPT.
Yes, you can play with it, but the ones that they're introducing are for heavy duty science. They're not for writing. So you're not going to get much more bang for the buck from going to. You're driving F1. They are telling you go and drive F1 race car, but all you need to get from point A to B in Toyota.
Right.
So don't even go there because not everybody knows how to do a unsynchronized gearbox with stick shift. Yes. So you may not need that. Those new models are for fancy stuff. I would stick to 4.0 in GPT and then compare to other. Put it in the Grok, put it in even the same prompt or output of what you're doing. Put both actually.
Right.
Do the same prompt into 4 places or 3 places and output of them and play with it. It takes seconds and you will come up with very, very interesting.
So when I put information and it starts learning me and whatever I'm doing, my wife and I both created all these specific buckets. You know, this is our curriculum bucket and
So you're
everything.
using
about-
the project function, yes? In ChatGPT, you're using the project function in GPT?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and once you go in and create, so I've got a ChatGPT that's an expert in Elevate, right?
Yes, yes.
So if I just go to 4.0, does it have that information? If I created it in a
Yes.
specific one, just as 4.0 have all of the information for all of my sub?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I'm not having to go into one specific one and add.
I wouldn't. They're really not that. If you were heavy duty science, yes, heavy duty design, heavy duty computing, programming, but not on the words.
It's really mainly writing and
Yes,
creative.
but you have, I use it as a prompt to it prompts my creativity.
Right.
It's still a final copy, and it may write pretty cool copy, but it will never miss the point. It will never miss the structure. So if you're writing a business plan, it will have all the buckets, all the what you have to. Is the filler going to be perfect? No, but at least you will have the framework, and you keep selectively prompting it. I don't like that section on investment. Yeah, write more about investment. So that's. So this is the commoditization. So the role of these guys will diminish at the expense of the specialized models. Okay, like I said, this is actually where but not immediately. They still know a lot. They sucked up everything that's in the public knowledge by humanity.
Right.
So they still have a lot, but they don't have the data like UNF, not UNF, but UF cooperated with Google. They have years of clinical data from UF hospitals. So now if you're a physician, you're not going to go to OpenAI,
Right.
you're going to pay $20 for that model, and this is how they're going to monetize it.
Okay.
So people will be monetizing those special models. There will be models for lawyers, for car mechanics, for even by car it could be, because they are so complex now.
Right.
And you, just like BMW today charges mechanics for using diagnostics. That's what they do.
Wow.
Yeah, so as a mechanic, you have to pay subscription to BMW to be able to diagnose their cars.
Wow.
It will be the same, so
Yeah.
concept will be the same. Okay, I may have a Mercedes, I have a Toyota, I
Right.
have, and if you have a dealer, you have 20 years of experience dealing with GM cars,
Mhm.
that's worth unbelievable amount of money for onboarding your technicians, yes?
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, this is not, how do I change this, how do I change that, without taking the car apart, you know? So there's we still have a lot of work ahead of us. Another trend, this is very important, this is where this gets geopolitical. Chinese.
Greg, I think maybe we should take a break and eat and
Your
do some
show.
Q&A with you at the table afterwards. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Sandra, pray for the food for us.
Yes, yes. Father, thank you for this wisdom and insight, the seven flames of Isaiah 11:2. May this food nourish our bodies and bring health to our bones. Be glorified through our businesses and our ministries, using any tools of AI, and keep us from evil. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So grab a